Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today you're joining me in an entry-level Porsche, if there is such a thing. This one here is a 2019 718 Boxster. Now the Boxster's been around since the mid-90s. The 718 is obviously at the end of a very long list and will continue to go on because of course I can't imagine them getting rid of the Boxster anytime soon. I've always been a Porsche fan, but I'm not necessarily a Porsche fanatic. There are so many different model variants out there. All I know is that obviously a lot of the fanatics will tell you that the 911 is the one to have, and the 718 would kind of be, you know, a bit of an entry level, a bit basic type thing. But that doesn't mean it's not any good. It is fantastic. I've been driving it around for a little bit. It's the first one that I've had into my stock range. It's a two-seater sports convertible, of which it's only done 18,000 miles. It's 38,995, so it's by no means a cheap car. You know, you can call it entry level all you like. That's still a decent chunk of money. And I've not driven a 911, especially a more modern one. I think I've driven a Carrera 4 and a couple of other models, but obviously the latest 911, don't get me wrong, looks absolutely stunning, and I jump at the opportunity to have one. The 718, is it a viable option to have a Porsche on your driveway? And is it any good? And it's fantastic. It really is good fun. It's got the later 2-litre turbo 4-cylinder petrol engine, of which that produces 296 brake horsepower. I think that's a really impressive number to be kicking out of a 2-litre turbo, but obviously technology certainly helps that in later years, so yeah, really good fun on that aspects. I've got this PDK double clutch transmission in here, of which I wouldn't necessarily be too fussed whether it was an automatic or a manual, because I can really imagine a manual Porsche Boxster 718 being a load of fun. Not to say that this isn't fun, it's still responsive. I've got the paddle shifts on the steering wheel here, so I can still feel like I'm a bit of a racing driver. But 296 brake horsepower is just a fantastic amount to have on the country roads that I live, and I think any of the roads that you'd find in the UK or even in Europe, to be honest. You know, the 911 is obviously a tremendous amount of power, but I think this is a fantastic level of, you know, good fun without feeling that it's incredibly dangerous. I don't have an enormous wealth of options on this car. It's typical of Porsche, really, or most German manufacturers, is that if you want anything extra, you kind of got to pay for it, really. You know, Porsche's kind of said, well, what more do you want? You've got 2 pedals, stop and go, you've got a steering wheel and a couple of mirrors if you really want to look backwards, but it doesn't really have much of an additional specification in this particular model. I've got aircon. I wouldn't necessarily call it climate control, because I can't set it at a set temperature. I like to see it at 20 degrees, and I don't know where 20 degrees is on this particular kind of dial system that you use. I don't even have the power fold mirrors. I don't have heated seats. The entertainment system is fantastic. That's really responsive. The satellite navigation's nice and bright. It's a really sunny day, but I've got no glare or anything. I can still perfectly see the screen, which is a really nice thing to have. Also has Apple CarPlay, which I think did become standard on the later Porsche models that kind of come through. So it's wired. There's a little USB slot in here, so I can plug my phone in and have Apple CarPlay, which I do quite enjoy that. I've got that on my daily Defender, so that is a really useful thing to have. The dials, but you know, you kind of forgive all of it because it is still fantastic build quality and a really pleasant place to be. You know, it's very obvious that I'm in a Porsche and I'm sat here, I've got the lovely crest on the steering wheel, everything feels really solid, all the buttons are just a nice finish, and as I say, it's a really young car with only 18,000 miles, so I'm not expecting anything to be out of place, but you can just tell it is really solid. There's no creaks or anything like that in the seats when I'm getting in and out. The steering wheel feels absolutely lovely. The steering is really quite direct as well. I've got these really cool auto lights on the front. This particular one's in a really bright red, which I think is a bit of a statement colour, but I think it suits it because I think it is a bit of a statement car. Also has like a black pack, so I've got the black wheels, I've got the black surrounds in the headlights and the badging and stuff like that, so I think it sets it off really quite nicely. Again, these are 19-inch wheels. They've got Pirelli P0s all round, which are nice. Allows for a really good ride quality. The suspension is stiff, but that's what you kind of expect on a two-seater sports car. You can get bigger wheels and get the 20-inch wheels, but I'm not sure if you compromise on your actual ride quality, particularly in the kind of roads that I'm quite often driving around here, the country roads. They are, used and abused. They've got real heavy loads on them most days, so they get chewed up quite quickly. So to have the 19-inch wheels, I think, is a really good setup for around here. I've got a couple of additional extras, one of which being the sports exhaust. There's a little button here. It's very obvious because the button's got a little picture on it of the exhaust, so I tend to press that each time I get in because I think it sounds fantastic. And as I say, that acceleration's phenomenal. It's plenty for what you want around here, and it sounds great. The double clutch transmission is really quick to respond as well. I've got stop start, I've got the sport button here. I can turn my traction control off, although when you're in a Porsche, it's not that type of car where you really want to be doing that, I don't think. I do have a retractable spoiler as well. You can't necessarily see it in your mirror, so it's more for obviously driving dynamics, but I quite like it when you can see the spoiler go up and down in your rear. The roof is incredibly quick. It's about 10 seconds to go up and down, which is really good. Obviously 10 seconds either way, but we seem to be very optimistic in the UK, and the stats are crazy with the amount of convertibles that us as a nation buy, given how very little sunny days that we actually manage to enjoy. So I think, enjoy it all you can, and it's nice and quick and easy. You haven't got to put anything down in the boot or anything like that. It just folds itself down, so you can do it when you're sat at traffic lights. So that's a really nice function. But yeah, you can forgive it. You can forgive all of the basicness of the specification just because of how enjoyable the drive is. As I say, the proper Porsche enthusiasts may be a little bit disappointed with the 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo engine. I agree, it doesn't necessarily sound like your traditional Porsche or flat 60s or anything like that. I get that, but it's still an incredible bit of engineering, and it certainly lets you feel like you are in a Porsche. So you forgive the basic spec. And as I say, you can get models out there where people have put additional specifications on there, but of course you've got to then anticipate that you're going to be paying more for it because it has those additional bits. So I think you're still getting a fantastic car at, it's not cheap by any means, but good value for what you can achieve with your driving experience and everything like that. And the running costs aren't too bad either. If you used to take it back to Porsche for your servicing, it is going to be quite expensive. If you can find a decent specialist, they're not too far behind trailing around here on the main dealer prices, but you do save a little bit, and sometimes you almost find that the quality of the servicing and everything like that may be a bit better with the specialist. That's what we found around here anyway. The road cost, the road tax, it's only £190 a year, which is fantastic because of course it was registered after the October 2017 deadline within the UK, and so it's now dropped to that lower tax band at 190, which is really good. I'm not getting a bad MPG by any means, so on the trip computer here around town, what have I got here? So on the distance that I've been doing today, I'm at 28.2 miles to the gallon, which is great. And apparently if you used to take it on the longer runs on a motorway, you could be nudging on 50 miles to the gallon, which is phenomenal. It's a very lightweight and small car. Given the storage that you have, it's certainly, it's good given that it is the size of car that it is, because it is mid-engine, so the engine's sitting behind us here. You've got two storage facilities, your boot and a front boot, if you like. So that's really quite good. So the practicality side of it is quite good too. Providing that you resided to the fact that it is two people, but that's fine. You can live with it, given the boot space that you have and everything. So yeah, it's just a really pleasant place to be. I'm hoping that we can get through some of this traffic and enjoy some of the country roads. So we're on a bit of open road now. Woohoo! That acceleration is fantastic, and it sounds great with the sports exhaust as well. The steering is direct, it's sharp, the brakes are good, acceleration's fantastic. I've just had a car pull out, which has spoiled the fun for a second, but just when you get those little moments, when it allows you to just enjoy it, it's fantastic. Oh, look. It's just a great level of fun. As I say, I'm not putting my foot down worrying that I'm going to lose the back end because it's putting down so much power. I'm putting the foot down in every bit of confidence that I'm going to enjoy these next few corners. And as we approach traffic again, what's going on up here? Yeah, it's coming to a complete standstill. So that's what I mean. Like, would I have had more fun on the 911 than I did just in the 718 for that very small stretch that I was able to put my foot down? I'm not entirely convinced, but don't get me wrong, if I was to be offered one, I wouldn't be able to say no. But I think this is just a fantastic level of Porsche. It's just great fun. So back at the showroom now. GoPro decided to have a funny 5 minutes at the end of the video yesterday. Business is back to normal with regards to the weather. We're now sitting inside the car with the roof up because it started to rain. But I did genuinely really enjoy that drive yesterday, and it's the type of car that on a sunny day I'd be really looking forward to take it out again. So yeah, my opinion on a Porsche 718 is I think it's every bit as fantastic as a Porsche should be. It would be interesting to drive one of the latest generation 911s, but I have to say I really did enjoy this 718. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe to the video. The numbers are climbing, it is going up, and I do appreciate everyone that does that. So yeah, I hope to see you for the next one. Thank you.